Hello, guys, welcome back to Christianity Reloaded. Today we are talking about Islam. We are saying that Muhammad was not the first prophet. That's the topic of the video. Muhammad was not the first prophet. But before we dive into the matter, let me make some certain things clear, because sometimes when we talk about Islam, the Muslims they come and say to you, "Why are you talking about our religion?" But why we are talking about your religion is because your religion talked about us before. If you go to your book, Quran, you will find out many things they said about Jesus Christ. In Quran, he is represented as Isa. But the problem is that as a human being, if someone wrote a book about you and the person misrepresented you, you have your own right to tell somebody that this book didn't represent you at all, or represented you badly. That's why we're talking about Islam, because Islam, first of all, talk about our religion, Christianity. That's why. So I hope I'm clear. So let's come back to Muhammad not being a first prophet. I don't think Muhammad is the first prophet, but before I begin to go on with what I mean about Muhammad not being a first prophet, in the beginning, the name Muhammad shouldn't be associated with a prophet, because you are defaming the name of a prophet by calling this man a prophet, because it's like someone that have not studied mathematics in his life and they started calling him an engineer. You cannot be an engineer without studying mathematics. That's as obvious as the sun. So Muhammad shouldn't be associated with anything prophet in his name, because it's bad to call someone an engineer when the person have not even studied anything that's have to do with mathematics. He doesn't know 2 plus 2, that 2 plus 2 is equals to 4. And when you look at why I say that Muhammad shouldn't be called anything associated with prophet, because in the first place, the Arabs they don't have any prophet before Muhammad. And if they have, they should let us know. They don't have. So calling someone prophet because he makes some teachings, he said he received something from Jibril from the cave. When he was in cave, he received something and book. And because he said he received something, people should call him a prophet. People don't even understand the meaning of prophet, because Muhammad have not prophesied anything, so he shouldn't be called a prophet. He should be called a false teacher. Because sometimes I look at Muhammad as figure. Sometimes I am asking myself whether this person was a historic figure, or just some of the Arabs come together to make up this figure and call his name Muhammad. Because even they said that Muhammad was, I think, 40 years before he becomes a prophet, their prophet. or false teacher. Let me use the word false teacher because he's not a prophet. And they said he was 40 years. And somebody, he was pagan, isn't he? And the pagan went to the cave, and an angel visited a pagan. And the thing is that even when he comes back from the cave, the encounter with whatever that visited him in cave, he came back, he was telling, I think, his wife about it. And the wife said to him that he's an angel. And this is, you see the obvious lie there in that statement. How can someone, a pagan, know something about angel? It's like if you go to Africa in, let's say, 300 years ago, they don't have any idea of angel, but they have idea of spirit. But even the spirit, they have idea. They don't even know whether they can't call that spirit an angel because most of the time the spirit they are aware of is a bad spirit. But this woman, I think the wife of Muhammad, is telling Muhammad he was an angel that visited. Somebody visited him, he couldn't even explain himself that, look, I'm Jibril, I'm Gabriel. I was sent by God. But no explanation. Muhammad didn't speak to this angel to ask the angel, who are you? And he came back and started talking to the wife, and the wife said, okay, might be an angel. How did she know that an angel exists in the first place? She was a pagan. See how this lie is exposed. And sometimes, if some Muslims come across this video, they may think, oh, why are you talking about our prophet? But you guys don't hesitate to say that the Bible is corrupt. You guys don't hesitate to say that Jesus was just a prophet. But all this stuff you guys throw at Christians. But when we switch, we flip, and do the same thing with religion, you guys started to cry. You know what I mean? So the idea of this man being a prophet is terrible for somebody to attack this man as a prophet. Remember that he married a 6-year-old girl. And they say all this terrible. How can a man marry somebody 54 years and marry someone at 6 years? If you see this kind of person in this age, the person will be in jail. The person will be in jail for life. So they shouldn't say anything about prophecy or prophets. So this man, he is not a prophet. He is a false teacher and probably an antichrist. One of the big figure of antichrist. Because if even as I'm a Christian, if someone tells me that a prophet in the Bible or Jesus married a 6-year-old girl, and I will stop being a Christian. I cannot follow someone or associate myself with a religion that someone they held at the highest esteem married a 6-year-old. This kind of statement, this terrible stuff that happens with Muhammad is one that if you are kind of have moral, you shouldn't associate yourself with anything that called that Muhammad found, because it's terrible. That's why some Muslims, when they hear this kind of teaching, they denounce Islam immediately. So Muhammad was not a prophet. He was a false teacher and an antichrist. So because when you ask some Muslims, when you presented this teaching about how Muhammad married the 6-year-old, they start making excuses, and sometimes they will tell you something like, was that during that time this stuff was normal. And you see, this kind of excuse or defense is terrible because you can just shred it into pieces. But if it was that time, what was the purpose of the man coming, his teaching? Is it not to tell people to stop doing the bad stuff? And as you guys always say, is an example for mankind. And this is somebody that you're using as an example. It's a terrible example, you know what I mean? And this excuse doesn't hold water at all because it's supposed to be a standard where you guys look at his life. And when you look at somebody's life and married a sister, is it a good stuff? This just because these days we see that this is a terrible stuff. We shouldn't say anything that have to do with a prophet, with a man that did this kind of evil. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our video. Peace.